Now at 5, a future dental school in Joplin is one step closer to reality after gaining initial accreditation.
The crisis in Ukraine looms over tonight's State of the Union speech. I'm Natalie Brandt on Capitol Hill with the new initiative President Biden is expected to announce, plus the top issues Americans want the president to address.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
KCU in Joplin is one step closer to opening its dental school after receiving accreditation status from the Commission on Dental Accreditation. This is KOAM News at 5. A lot of areas across our country face a dental shortage, including Southwest Missouri. Well, now the College of Dental Medicine can start accepting applications for the first dental school class and for faculty.
So now that we have the initial accreditation, we are recruiting more faculty and we are recruiting students. The good news is the American Dental Education Association meeting is in 2 weeks. So we will have a booth at the American Dental Education Association meeting to recruit faculty as well as recruiting students.
The College of Dental Medicine is expected to start classes in July of 2023. Freeman Health System announces the winner of the latest Daisy Award for Extraordinary Nurses. It's Chris Lee. He's an RN in the cardiovascular operating room where he preps and helps patients through heart surgery. Freeman officials say Lee was nominated by his peers because of all the hard work he puts in with his patients.
Today we're talking about the Daisy Award. It's a global recognition program designed especially for nurses, and nurses can be recognized by family members, by friends, by co-workers, physicians. Really anybody can nominate a nurse for a Daisy Award.
The Daisy Award was created in 1999 in memory of a patient as a way to say thank you to nurses. Today is National Pancake Day, so local IHOP restaurants are celebrating with a fundraiser. The location in Joplin is raising money for the Children's Miracle Network Hospital at Freeman Health System. IHOP has been doing the fundraiser at some locations since 2006, but for only 7 years in this area. They've raised almost $25,000 in the 4-state area and nearly $29 million nationally.
So on National Pancake Day, IHOP offers a free short stack of pancakes at their locations in hopes that people will donate to the Children's Miracle Network during their time that day.
All funds raised during the event stay in the area where they're donated. Boy, another beautiful day out there, Doug Heddy.
Yeah, another fantastic day. Temperatures well into the 70s for us today. Plenty of sunshine. Pretty much all the sleet and snow is gone. Just a few leftover piles. And it feels like spring outside. Plenty of sun. We're going to continue to see that as we go through the rest of the evening hours. Not too much going on over the next few days. In fact, temperatures look pretty good. 73 Fort Scott. Look at this. Neodesha 78. It's 80 in Yates Center. It's 77 in Chanute. Grand Lake at 70 in Anderson. We have those kind of southwesterly winds helping us warm up. Anywhere from about 5 to 15. So a little bit on the breezy side at times. Through the evening hours, we drop back through the 60s, 50s, eventually mid-40s for overnight lows. We do have a severe threat in the forecast. We're going to look at that here in a bit.
Catch you then. Ukraine's president is calling an attack on the central square in the country's second largest city an act of terror, saying the Freedom Square in Kharkiv held no military targets. This comes as a 40-mile-long Russian military convoy moves closer to Ukraine's capital. The U.S. and other world powers are set to release 60 million barrels of oil from reserves to help ease rising gas prices that have skyrocketed due to the Russian invasion. We're going to have more on those gas prices a little bit later in this newscast. Russia's war on Ukraine, rising inflation, and the coronavirus pandemic are all expected to take priority when President Biden delivers his first State of the Union address this evening. Capitol Hill police have ramped up security on the perimeter of the Hill as they brace for possible protests. Reporter Natalie Brand has a preview from Capitol Hill.
The crisis in Ukraine looms large over President Biden's first State of the Union speech, and it's the top issue on people's minds, according to a new CBS News poll.
He will definitely spend time in the speech talking about the conflict in Ukraine, his efforts to rally the world.
The White House says in tonight's speech, the president will lay out efforts he's taken with U.S. allies to stand up against Russia's aggression, including punishing economic sanctions and efforts to keep them from impacting American consumers. Lawmakers are also hoping to hear more about the administration's push for more than $6 billion in additional aid to Ukraine, as the country's leaders say they need more weapons.
I'm suggesting it should go up by $1 billion more on each side, humanitarian and military, and end up being about $8 billion.
Fences have once again gone up around the Capitol ahead of this speech, with threats of a trucker protest. Hundreds of National Guard are also on standby. With the economy and inflation as the other top issues Americans polled want to hear about, President Biden is expected to make yet another pitch for key pieces of his stalled Build Back Better plan, including an expanded child tax credit and a $15 minimum wage.
They're paying more for gas. There's a tax on every American with the inflation.
Senior administration officials say the president will announce a unity agenda of policy areas that could garner bipartisan support, including mental health. After the address, Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds will deliver the Republican response. Natalie Brandt, CBS News, Capitol Hill.
You can see live CBS coverage of the State of the Union address beginning at 8 p.m. here on KOAM and on our streaming platforms, including the KOAM News app and our website, KOAMNewsNow.com. Still ahead, the evolution of a community landmark.
Your local shopping mall may soon look very different. I'm Michael George with how the pandemic, online shopping, and the economy are all changing the face of America's mall.
And next in Healthwatch, how the way you walk could reveal secrets about your health. Topping today's Healthwatch, a new federal report shows the U.S. did not experience a baby boom during the COVID-19 pandemic. The CDC says births in the U.S. fell 2% during the first half of last year compared to 2020. All races saw a dip during the first 6 months of 2021, with the biggest declines reported in New Mexico and Washington, D.C. However, researchers say data patterns appear to show a shift, and that means birth rates may soon return to levels not seen since before the pandemic. New research in China suggests fond memories can help relieve pain, or at least the perception of pain. The study found nostalgia decreases activity in pain-related brain areas. Doctors say nostalgia may be used as a drug-free tool to help alleviate headaches and other low-level pain. Everyone has a unique walk, and now research is showing your gait may reveal secrets about your health. You probably don't think much about it, but the way you walk can say a lot about your current and future health. Researchers are using sophisticated technology to see how changes in your gait could detect certain diseases early on.
One of the most important characteristics that we know changes with early Alzheimer's is the speed at which you walk. So with age, our speed decreases, but there could be an acceleration in that decline, which could happen about almost a decade before actual diagnosis of cognitive impairment.
Changes in walking patterns could spot other neurological diseases like Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, and a condition known as normal pressure hydrocephalus. A recent study also found that certain walking patterns are associated with genetic disorders Fragile X and SHANK3 deletion syndrome, which are both linked to autism. Some signs you may want to ask your doctor about include slower movements, arms that don't swing when you walk, a shuffling step, difficulty balancing, lots of falls, and a hunched posture. And here's a fun fact about walking. The average person walks 65,000 miles in their lifetime. That's the equivalent of walking 3 times around the earth. Just 30 minutes to an hour of muscle strengthening every week may help you live longer. Research published in the British Journal of Sports Medicine finds activities like weightlifting, push-ups, and even heavy gardening led to a 10 to 20% lower risk of death from all causes, and particularly from cancer, diabetes, and heart issues. Combination of hospital and at-home antibiotic therapy may be the best way to treat endocarditis in some patients. A study published in JAMA found patients experiencing this life-threatening inflammation of the heart valves associated with illegal drug use had better long-term outcomes when they completed their treatment at home. Doctors say the outpatient approach saves lives and is more cost-effective. And that is a look at today's health news. A little bit later, if you've been waiting to go trout fishing in Missouri, well, we're going to tell you what you need to know.
Plus, great temperatures. Stick around over the next few days, but we do have to watch our next storm system. We're going to look at that coming up. Well, it turned out to be another great day for us today. Temperatures fantastic, low to mid, even upper 70s across the region, and plenty of sunshine. So all that ice and snow over the past couple weeks is long gone. Will continue, even the leftover little tiny piles will continue to melt. Nice shot. This is Indigo Sky Casino and Resort. Of course, Indigo is just outside of Seneca, Missouri. All right, let's look back. We're in March now. February overall, in my head, I think of it as being a pretty cold month, but if we look at it, it was really about 50-50. We had a lot of days. We were into the 60s, near 70. Then we also had these really cold days across the region. Kind of ended cold last week, and then this week has been looking pretty good for most of us. Temps right now, 71 Nevada, 69 Monette, 70 in Miami, Pitt at 70, Yates Center's at 80. So we got a very dry air mass, so it allows our temperatures to warm up very quickly and very easily. These southerly winds kind of helping those temps warm up. South winds at about 5 to 15, and this is what we're going to see as we go through the next few days. Looks good. 7th and range line sitting at 70. Southerly winds 10 to 15. Look at the humidity. Bone dry, it's at 20%. That's why the temperature rises so easily. We'll drop back through the 60s, 50s, eventually mid 40s. So a chilly night, but then again tomorrow. Very quick warm up across the area. Clear skies. Nothing's going on here. Most of the central plains look pretty good. There's one little weak wave right across parts of Arizona. Not a big deal. Behind it, we have a much stronger storm system that is developing kind of out of the Gulf of Alaska off the coast of the Pacific Northwest. There's actually 2 waves out there, and they will start to affect us as we head into the weekend. Until then, nothing's going on. Just great, fantastic weather. Mid 40s tonight. Quite a bit of sunshine again tomorrow. Warmer. I think most of us on the Missouri side, 75, 76, 77. Most likely lower 80s in our western counties. So another big warm up for us tomorrow. 44 to start, 71 by noon, at least 76. Southerly winds 5 to 15 again during the afternoon. Tomorrow night, a weak little cold front kind of slides into our northern counties, puts the brakes on, slowly lifts back toward the north. So maybe a little bit cooler Thursday, but I still think we're going to go into lower 70s by the time we head into Thursday afternoon. Here come the clouds on Friday. Still not a bad day as we soar right around 70 once again by the time Friday rolls around. Here comes our next storm system. This is going to be on Saturday. Some scattered showers and thunderstorms midday, early afternoon. Most of the severe weather will stay to the north. Can't rule it out for here. Cold front drops through. Let's go to Sunday. Here comes the next wave. A better shot Sunday afternoon and evening for strong to severe storms here. But we have a shot both days, Saturday and Sunday. 76 tomorrow, 74 on Thursday, 68 on Friday. Temperature is great through the weekend. We're just dodging those storms. And then a little bit cooler by early next week.
Yeah, loving those temperatures through Sunday.
Yeah, it feels like spring right around the corner.
Yes, it does. Thank you, Douglas. Speaking of spring, this is the opening day for Missouri's catch and keep trout season. The fishing started at 6:30 a.m. at some sites all around the state, including here at Neosho's Morse Park, downstream from the historic Neosho National Fish Hatchery. If you want to try your luck, you have to have the appropriate fishing license and trout tag. You can find a list of trout fishing parks on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Missouri's catch and keep season runs through October 31st. Coming up, how malls across the country are changing. First, though, we honor a local veteran. John Weiss served in the U.S. Army from 1942 to 1945. The Army Kansas native was stationed on the Aleutian Islands, and we salute John Weiss, a four-state hero. Topping today's Consumer Watch, U.S. oil prices hit a 7-year high early today to more than $101 a barrel as the Russian invasion of Ukraine stoked fears of a fuel shortage. The International Energy Agency is meeting to consider ways to stabilize energy markets. Americans are now feeling higher prices at the pump, too, with the price per gallon up nearly a quarter from a month ago. A new report estimates nearly 500,000 families do not have reliable child care, stranding parents at home and contributing to the U.S. worker shortage. The report, published by Wells Fargo economists, says daycare centers can't find enough workers, which has led to a 12.4% decline in staff since before the pandemic. According to Wells Fargo's estimates, that leaves about 460,000 families scrambling to find reliable long-term child care. Shopping malls were losing business even before the pandemic, and in the past couple of years, many department stores have shut down. Well, now those empty spaces are getting a facelift to bring in new business. Michael George reports.
Like many Americans, Savon Michael's shopping habits have changed in the last 2 years.
Actually, because of the pandemic, I've not been going to the malls as much.
Malls struggling to attract shoppers as online shopping continues to grow are ready to experiment. At Tyson's Galleria outside Washington, D.C., a former Macy's department store has been transformed into a new dining and entertainment wing with options like bowling.
I think the consumer coming out of the pandemic is just looking to be out and experiencing life in a more normalized way.
In Rochester, New York, the Marketplace Mall is turning a shuttered Sears into a large healthcare facility, reimagining what a mall can be. American Dream here in New Jersey may be one model for the new shopping mall. Yes, it's got stores, but more than half the space is devoted to family attractions and entertainment. That includes a theme park with roller coasters, a water park, and an ice rink.
Shopping malls are evolving, and when you look at American Dream, this was part of the brainchild from the very beginning, is creating an experience that was different.
American Dream opened just 5 months before the pandemic. And the hope is traffic will pick up now that coronavirus cases are easing.
They've changed.
Stephanie Sigelski with the International Council of Shopping Centers says the strategy is offering an experience people can't get online.
We're seeing everything from fitness, from gyms, from movie theaters going into some of those large boxes to educational facilities.
Shopping centers finding new life by adapting to consumers who want more than just shopping. Michael George, CBS News, East Rutherford, New Jersey.
More businesses are punishing Russia for the invasion of Ukraine. Disney will stop releasing films there, and Netflix is blocking state TV channels. General Motors became the latest automaker to announce it won't export cars to the country. And possibly one of the biggest consequences, oil company Shell said yesterday it's joining BP in exiting its ventures in Russia. Airbnb is offering free short-term housing to 100,000 refugees fleeing Ukraine. The company is looking for hosts in Poland, Germany, Hungary, and Romania to help. The stays are funded by Airbnb's nonprofit arm. Final check of the forecast next. Up next on the CBS Evening News, an effort in the U.S. to lend a hand to Ukrainian refugees. Then on KOAM News at 6, we're going to have more on the accreditation process for that future dental school in Joplin. Plus, Pittsburgh high school students raise money to upgrade the Performing Arts Auditorium. And Missouri Southern freshman and basketball standout Lacey Stokes wins big in the MIAA All-Conference Awards. Stay with us for the CBS Evening News and then KOAM News at 6. Yellowstone National Park turns 150 years old today. President Ulysses S. Grant signed the Yellowstone National Park Protection Act into law on March 1st, 1872, creating the first national park in the world. There are now 63 national parks in the U.S. Yellowstone sits atop a super volcano, and the Park Service says it has the world's greatest concentration of geysers, hot springs, steam vents, and mud pots. The park is spread out across 3 states, but just barely. 96% of it's in Wyoming, 3% in Montana, 1% in Idaho. If you have never seen Yellowstone National Park, do yourself a favor. on the wish list.
Yeah, I did it 4 or 5 years ago, and it was amazing. It's a must-see.
It is a memorable experience,
Yes, it is.
for sure. The weather looking nice.
Yeah, it looks great. 70s once again over the next few days, near 70 on Friday. We are going to be dodging some thunderstorms by the weekend, so we'll keep our eyes on that.
Thanks for joining us. The CBS Evening News is next, and of course, we're going to be right back here for KOAM News at 6. See you then. Let's make it a great evening.